Hello Cancer, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As I do in all of my readings, I have pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, and the clarification deck, and the advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. All right, Cancer, in your recent past, you have Face Your Fears with the 8 of Swords. So this is an energy of feeling very trapped in a reality that you don't want to be in. I feel like this is about wanting something for yourself, but feeling like there is absolutely no way that you can have it. And a lot of fear exists within this energy. Fear that you'll never be able to create what it is that you desire. Fear that you're not good enough. Fear that for whatever reason it's not meant for you. And sometimes those fears can actually further the energy of us being trapped in the reality we don't want to live in. So I feel like this is kind of an energy of breaking yourself out of this reality and creating a better one for you. Now, when I talk about reality, it could mean your life as a whole. It could be about a relationship. It could be about a career path or a financial situation. Really, one time you could watch it and it could be about a relationship. The next time you could watch it, it could be about a career. So whatever, first kind of comes to mind is probably the right thing for you. Now, in this current energy, you have patience with the Fool. So I like this because this is this energy of there being a new beginning in your energy field. The Fool, I feel like, is what you're looking for, a new beginning in some facet of your life. And I feel like it's required a lot of patience to get there. And especially in your current energy, I feel like you're running out of this. I feel like you're running out of patience, and it feels like it's just never going to happen no matter how hard you try or how much you want it. But then in your immediate future, you have Enchanted with the 6 of Wands. And I really like this Enchanted card because I feel it's really talking about a path kind of opening up, almost like being in the dark, not seeing a way forward. And then, slowly but surely this path kind of starts to open up. You start to see the light, you start to follow it, and that's what ultimately leads you to success. So I feel like there's a path that you might be unaware of this. I don't think that you're aware that this path even exists, which might be why you are so much stuck in this energy of this feels impossible, or like this won't be able to, I'll never be able to make this happen, or I'll never be able to have this, is because I think that this is still hasn't been revealed to you yet. And that's why the overall theme of the reading is trust. Trust that you can make it happen. Trust that the universe is working to make it happen for you. Your desires align with the desires of spirit. So leaning, into that faith can certainly help in those periods where you are feeling a little bit frustrated. Because I do feel like that's where you're at right now with this patience energy. Is you're like, I've been patient, I've been, putting in the work, and nothing's coming of it. And I get that feeling, and I certainly get that experience too. So I know it's not easy to just, continue to have patience when you feel like you have had patience and it hasn't led you anywhere. But I really feel like this is Spirit's way of saying, like, keep holding on, keep trying to believe in a better future, better reality, better path, whatever kind of resonates with you. All right, Cancer, let's start by looking at this past energy. You have Face Your Fears with the 8 of Swords. This trapped feeling, the 8 of Swords in reverse, you have it upright, but the 8 of Swords in reverse is actually my favorite card in tarot. And I think that it's funny because I think the 8 of Swords might be my, I don't want to say my least favorite card necessarily, but my least favorite energy. That feeling of being trapped, of not seeing a way forward or a way out is not a fun energy. But on the other side of that is the 8 of Swords in reverse, which is kind of the freedom from that, releasing yourself from that energy. All right, so Cancer's recent past, The Emperor in reverse. The World. You have this King of Pentacles in reverse, but this feels not super pertinent to the message. Chariot in reverse. So there was it was or is some sort of cycle. And the cycle, because the Emperor in reverse is this need for control. So trying to force an outcome, force a situation, make something happen. And a lot of times the more control that we have, or that we feel we have, because we never really have control, we can have the illusion of control, the further away we actually are from receiving whatever it is that we want. So this King of Pentacles in reverse, and I get why it feels a little bit distant from the message, is because this kind of feels like this energy of focusing, like kind of being so closed off to possibility because you're focusing so much on where you're at. Now, this is so common and so natural. You know, we have a tendency to look at our circumstances and say, this is it. Like, it'll never get better than this, or it'll never be anything more than this. And when we look at where we're at as a destination instead of a stepping stone to a destination, or a stepping stone to further growth or evolvement or expansion or whatever the case is, we often actually get stuck in the energy of continuing to attract the exact same. So we want more, but we don't see that possibility for more, so we actually end up very stuck. And I feel like this was what was happening for you. Again, it's very common, right? If you don't see a way out, if you don't see a different path, how are you going to believe that there is a way out and that there is a path? Which is why your faith in a better reality is directly correlated with your ability to create a better reality. You know, if you look around and all you see, let's just talk about cognitive bias, right? Cognitive bias is basically this concept when you have a belief that no matter what you see, your perception of that will like shapeshift essentially to fit the belief that you already have in mind. So if you're sitting there going, it's not possible, I can't have the relationship that I want, or the type of relationship that I want, or I can't have the success that I desire, everywhere you look, you are going to see information that affirms that belief. And so that can further this feeling of being trapped and being stuck and, not having a way out. So I feel like that you might have kind of fallen into that a little bit, which is such a natural, normal human thing to do. Okay, so you didn't do anything wrong. But again, this does feel like it's about breaking yourself out of a reality that you weren't very happy with. Which is all about beliefs. It's all about your belief system. If you believe you can do it, it's like, if you believe you can't or you believe you can, you're going to be right either way. All right, past energy for Cancer. So stuck in a cycle of not being where you want to be, but not, and then there's the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Sun in reverse. It's this energy of not being happy, not being, like almost, it could be this energy of complacency maybe. Like, this is okay, or this is good enough, but it's not what I want. Now, this Queen of Swords in reverse is this energy of having kind of a closed heart and closed mind to the belief that anything better could ever come for you. And that, isn't, because we just talked a lot about beliefs, right? One of the things that we have to remember is our belief system is a product of what we've experienced. So if you're wanting to attract the love that you desire, you're wanting to attract financial abundance, but you've only ever experienced the lack of love or the lack of the finances that you need, it's going to be really hard for you to believe that you can create it, right? But believing that you can create it is what is going to help you create it. So it's kind of a catch-22. And I feel like it's almost like you got into this energy of like it's like you tricked yourself into believing that there was absolutely no way out, or there was no way to make things better, or there was no way that a dream or a wish fulfillment could ever come true, to the extent that your actions started backing that belief. So whether or not you realized it, and please don't get mad at me for saying this, okay, we're going to talk a lot. I'm going to dive into this a little bit deeper because I'm not trying to blame you or say that this is all your fault or anything like that. But it's almost like, when we break down the law of attraction, our thoughts become our beliefs. The more we think, a certain way, the more that we start to believe that way, the way that we believe dictates how we act, and how we act is what we create. So it all starts with what you think and what you believe. And if your reality has taught you something for so long, you're going to think and believe in alignment with that, which means you're going to act in alignment with that, which means that's what you're going to create, which is going to further those beliefs, which is going to further the action, which is going to further the reality. And it's literally like you get stuck in not being able to experience anything better for yourself. And so this is Spirit's way, I feel like, of telling you that you've got to be the one that comes in and that just like stops that cycle, where you're like, okay, yes, this is what I've experienced. Yes, this is what I believe because of what I've experienced, but that doesn't have to determine what I get to experience moving forward. Because you don't have to settle for anything less than what it is that you deserve and desire in this life. But sometimes we think we have to. We don't see a better way or a opportunity, so we almost stay stuck in the reality that, because when we start talking about just like what the brain prefers, your brain prefers what it can predict and what it can control. And humans actually will prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. So it's almost like we trick ourselves into believing that there's nothing more, and then we experience a reality that continues to prove that to us, and we go, see, I told you there's nothing more. And it's the same old same. So I feel like you've been stuck in this. So how do we get Cancer out of this is the question. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. This is what feels out of reach. To the extent, okay. It feels so out of reach that you've stopped going for it in a way. It's almost like you've given up, or this is past energy, but gave up on this. This is kind of abundance, long-term, sustainable fulfillment, And I feel like, then you have the Ace of Wands in reverse, which is kind of lack of action, lack of inspiration, lack of that spark, if you will. And then this Three of Wands is, being outside of your comfort zone. It's almost as if not having what it is that you wanted, not having this, became your comfort zone. It became your comfort zone to not be where you want to be, to the extent where you kept furthering a reality where you're stuck where you didn't want to be. Humans are funny in that way. We say we want more, we say we want better, but yet we do things that directly keep us from better, because we kind of get stuck in our routine and in our way of life. And so this is Spirit's way of saying it is time for you to take a leap into believing that there is more for you, that you can create more, that you can have what it is that you desire, that there is more in your control than you think there is, and that you are very, very supported on that path. But let's just keep going, because that was your past energy. So this is kind of like what you've been dealing with. It doesn't necessarily need to be like this is the energy only in your past. Like I feel like this is what you've been dealing with, and then this current energy, kind of how it's affecting you now. So current energy for Cancer: patience with the Fool. Nine of Pentacles. The High Priestess in reverse. What in the world? Hang on, I'm going to clarify this. I think I know what it's saying, but I just want to make sure. Yeah? Okay, Temperance. Oh, Temperance in reverse. That turned around in my hand super fast. Okay, that's the frustration. I feel like you're frustrated with the universe, Cancer. You're frustrated with the universe because this wish fulfillment, this Nine of Pentacles, hasn't appeared yet. And this High Priestess in reverse is this energy of not being totally in tune with your higher self, because I feel like your higher self is trying to tell you to trust, to believe, to lean on that spiritual connection of your own understanding when it comes to creating it. Because I feel like there's a part of you that really, it's like you want to give up. You want to give up on your ability to create to create what you want, to be where you want. This is definitely like a don't give up kind of reading. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on what it is you desire. Don't give up on your ability to attract love, because, when we go through periods of our life, and sometimes it can be years, sometimes it can be decades of not having what we want, saying don't give up can feel so I feel like it can really elicit a lot of eye rolls, just kind of like, yeah, okay, don't give up, get it. Like, I got it, I won't give up. But sometimes we have to be willing to change our approach to where we're at, and really start to ask ourselves, okay, if my life is a reflection of what I believe is possible, and I'm not where I want to be, I don't have what I want to have, or I'm not getting to experience what I want to experience, then what beliefs are and have been in control of that? Because that can help you start to uncover some of the ways that maybe, and just maybe, Cancer, you've been holding yourself back. Now, I don't mean that in a sense of blaming you, like I said, or putting this all on you, okay? But sometimes, one of the best things I ever learned is to focus on what I can control and give the rest over to my spiritual connection. So being able to say, I'm showing up in the best way that I can for myself. I'm facing my beliefs. I'm learning to, to process my emotions in a healthy way. I'm facing life, coming as much as I can from a faith mentality instead of fear-based mentality. And I know that as long as I'm doing those things and I give the rest over to spirit, the good things are going to happen for me. And in those periods where I start to feel stuck and I start to feel frustrated, it's easy for me to immediately start to get very angry with the universe. What the heck? I've been doing all this work and nothing's happening. But the most important thing in those periods is for me to not stop trying to show up in the best way for me, because at the end of the day, spirit always comes through and I always get to where I need to be in this life. But I feel like I really have learned that faith-based mentality really gets tested right before good things happen. The more that you can commit to creating better for yourself, the more likely you are to create it. But most people give up before it happens, or fall back into old patterns or old behaviors, or lean into the belief that it'll never be possible for them, because it's hard to keep believing. It's hard to keep trusting. It's hard to keep having faith. It is. But I feel like seeing the Nine of Pentacles and the Fool in your energy field is a way of Spirit's way of saying, like, this is here for you. This can happen. Just keep believing in it. Like, just don't. This is very, like I said, just a very much a don't give up kind of reading. All right, current energy for Cancer. The Four of Cups with the Judgment in reverse. There's a need to look at deeper truths here, a truth that needs to be revealed. What is that truth? What does Cancer need to know? Because the Four of Cups is focusing on the wrong thing, like focusing on what doesn't really matter. In a way, like needing a bit of a perspective shift, or more like shifting your focus here. Judgment in reverse, a deeper truth needing to be revealed. What is that deeper truth? You have options. You have options. You have more options than you think. But I feel like the belief that it can't happen has closed you off from those options. The belief that you can't get there has closed you off from that path. It's almost like, and I already kind of said this, right? If all you think about is all of the ways that you can't get there, that you're not good enough, that it can't happen, you are going to constantly see around you information that verifies that fact, that belief, not fact, but that belief. If you can shift your belief, and this comes, back to how you talk to yourself, trying to reframe your thoughts. Like it takes doing the work. It's not something you can just do overnight. It takes a consistent commitment to changing your perspective, to shifting your focus. Because if you focus on all of the ways and all of the proof that you aren't going to be able to create whatever it is you want to create, like I said, you're going to continue to be right. But if you can start to shift in the other direction, I can create it. The universe does have my back. I'm good enough for it. And even if it feels like you're lying to yourself at first, eventually you might start to see opportunities and options that you weren't able to see before because you were closed off to them, because what you were focusing on is all the ways that it can't happen. Because again, you are going to constantly see whatever is going to prove your brain correct. So if you spend your time thinking negatively, you will always, 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 always see and expect the negative. But if you retrain yourself to think from a place of optimism and faith, which comes down to, like I said, focusing on the way you speak about your life, the thoughts that you have, like, you will create better. So I feel like that's what Spirit's saying right now, right? Focusing on what you can control, starting with what you think about, where your focus goes, where your energy goes, where your attention goes. Yeah, because right now you're not able to hear your divine guidance. Page of Cups in reverse, the Lovers. Page of Cups in reverse, it's almost like Spirit is trying to show you the way. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like Spirit is trying to show you the way. And there is a path that's available for you, but it's like you don't see it. It's like, what is a good example? It's like you don't see the path because you don't believe it exists. I can't think of a good, nothing's coming to mind. But it's like it's there for you. There's an option, there's a path, but you're closed off to it because you don't believe it exists. And it's very much in alignment with what you deserve here. Which is why I feel right now isn't about searching for the path as much as focusing on what you can do to shift your focus on what you believe is possible for you. What does Cancer need to know moving forward? Enchanted with the 6 of Wands here. Does Cancer need... Okay. The Chariot, which obviously Cancer energy here, and then there's the 2 of Pentacles. It's almost like the reason that I'm getting so confused here is it's like there's a path here. It's here for you. It's the path that's going to take you to the success that you want. But for some reason, you don't see it. It's like it's there, it's clearly there, but you don't see it. Or you're writing it off. I don't know. That's what's so confusing. Because, yeah, you have this Chariot and the 2 of Pentacles. It's like finding this balance within is kind of the way, because 2 of Pentacles is all about balance, right? And it feels like balancing what is, like learning to look at your reality and say, okay, yes, this is what is, I'm not where I want to be, but that doesn't determine where I can go. Where I am now is absolutely no indication of where I can go. So now I'm going to start to shift my focus on the belief that things can always improve and I can finally get to where I want to go. And I'm going to, focus on the way that I'm thinking and focus on my approach to life, to always trying to come from that place of things being very faith-driven, right? Having that trust. And when I do that, literally paths open up because you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that before because I was spending all my time thinking about all of the ways that it wasn't possible. So like it's like, and then when you believe it exists, it appears, and it's like, boom, you're off. It's forward movement. Because the Chariot is very much about, positive progress. What else does Cancer need to know moving forward? There it is. Reveals, oh my gosh, the Lovers with the 7 of Swords in reverse. This is like, there's the Fool. It's like the path reveals itself, but it reveals itself because you start to be open to it. Why aren't you seeing this path, Cancer? I'm so confused. Why aren't you seeing it? And I feel like it comes down to the fact that, like, okay, here's an example. I think that this makes sense. Like, so I'm going to talk about my husband for a second, and I have his permission to talk about his journey on my channel. But he was in a career field that was absolutely draining his mental health. He went to school for this career field, though. He was a social worker, but he was working with just a very draining clientele. And he was very good at what he did. He had, a good team around him, but I could just tell it was like every single day he'd come home from work and he was exhausted. He was so drained. And so we started to have conversations about it. And I was like, it doesn't seem like you're very happy with your job and with where you're at. And he was like, no, but this is what I meant to do. Like, this is what I went to school for. Like, the only other thing would be to switch companies, but it would be the same at another company. Like, it was literally like he felt trapped. He felt like there was absolutely no way out. And so he didn't make a move. He stayed where he was at until eventually he got to a point where he was like, I cannot do this anymore. He was like, I can't continue to do this. My mental health is struggling. And I was like, you know what? Okay, sounds good. We'll make it work. We'll figure out a path, whatever you need. Well, he started just being open to other options and come to find out this other job that is very different from his career field, very different from what he went to school for, but very much like aligned with like him as a person. Very much an opportunity that he would love, and he took a chance on it. He was like, I'm gonna go for it. It's not what he went to school for. It's not really where his specialty is, but he was like, I'm gonna go for it. He got the job and he absolutely freaking loves it. But this opportunity didn't present himself until he was open to the opportunity itself. So that I feel like is one of the like a good example. Another one could be like, you're really unhappy in this relationship, and you keep doing everything you can to make this relationship work or to make this person see your value or whatever the case is, and Spirit is saying, oh, but there's another path for you, like a better relationship for you, but you're closed off to that because you're so focused on trying to make something that isn't working work. Like, there's so many ways that I feel like this could manifest, so it doesn't have to be one of those two examples, but I feel like when you start to believe that there is better for you, you start to see paths towards that. That's I feel like, if you could summarize this reading, what this is about. Okay, what does Cancer need to know moving forward? Ooh, okay. Two of Wands, and there's a Temperance. I mean, this is about that patience, right? You're frustrated because you're not where you want to be, but you're not open to the path that will take you to where you want to be. And I don't know why. And there's probably a lot of reasons why. And that's why, like, these are general readings, right? Like, I can't be so specific in a general reading, but I feel like Spirit is literally saying there is a path available for you to get to where you want to be, to the success. But you have to be open to that path. And maybe you don't even realize that you are closed off. Maybe you don't realize how much your belief system is aligning with the negative, with the lack of possibility. Because this Temperance, this is about patience paying off in a way, trusting the process and believing that better can happen and being willing to face the short-term discomfort that comes with that. Like, it's almost as if that pays off if you're willing to come from that place. And that's kind of how I see this future energy is. It's like, this past energy is very much like what you've been through. This is how you're handling it or how it's affecting you right now. And then this future energy is kind of like, okay, should you move forward in alignment with your higher self, follow divine guidance, here's what you can expect. And it's like, the success, the path, it reveals itself, it opens up. And then it's just like, it's almost like you've been sitting in traffic. And this whole time you could have taken this exit and it would have taken you like to where you're trying to go. Anyway, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. In this extended, we're going to focus on what you can do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Cancer, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Cancer, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Cancer.